Hello, this is Ryan with Pro Trailblazer. This is part 2 of slash commands. We are at configurations, and there's a couple little Easter eggs I'm going to show you how to do. So there's a couple of fun things that we get to learn how to do throughout the slash commands. Some of them are just a basic explanation and me skipping past them. We're going to try to do 10 or more in under 10 minutes. So I'm going to move pretty quick. Let's get into it. First of all, I'm just going to start up Claude so you can see how to start up Claude if you've just installed Claude. Once you get to here, you can type in Claude and you'll see that Claude is open and raring to go. And then we can start with some slash commands. And the one that I'm going to start with is rename. I've been using it all the time, and it's really helped in terms of me realizing what the heck I'm doing while I'm using Claude Code. So I've been adding 2 extra spaces and then typing in Pro Trailblazer, because that's the project that we're working on. And then I'm going to select it all. I can't do shift select in here, I don't think. And we're going to copy it, and then we're going to go like this. Boom. Now you can see that we've got this big ticker looking thing right at the top so that we're always reminded of what we are working on. Now Pro Trailblazer has a color scheme that's red, so I want to change the color of it as well. I'm going to change that to red, and there we go. When you've got multiple tabs open or multiple windows and you're running a whole bunch of inference all at once, it's really important to know which one you are working on. And it's very easy to all of a sudden think you're working on one thing when you're not. So this helps you realize what project you're working on. All right, so configuration. So config helps you set up the configuration of Claude Code. And you can look through it, toggle everything. I have not changed one item in my config since I started using it. It is exactly the default that comes out of the box. And I took a look and I'm happy with it still. You can take a look at usage and stats through this and status by using left and right. You can also search through the settings as well. Next is permissions. So we're going to click exit out of here. We're going to do permissions. Permissions allows you to see what has access to use Claude Code. So I've got mine grayed out. You can't see below the search, but this shows you the allow, ask, deny, and workspace of your permissions. So next we've got hooks. Hooks are pretty cool. So hooks can automate actions while you're running Claude Code. So hooks can be little shell scripts within the sequence of steps happening within Claude Code. And it can cause things to fire off and happen while you're doing things you do on a regular basis. So I use one currently per recommendation from someone I was hanging out in a chat with. So I typed in hooks right there, and then I went to the one that I have. So post tool use, something happens after you execute a use of Claude Code. And that's what I have right here, formats with Biome. So that's something that I've been using. And what that does is that offloads linting outside of Claude Code. So you don't have to use your tokens to do linting. There's no reason to do that. There's plenty of applications that can do that by themselves outside of Claude Code. It does not require AI or large language models to do so. You can run Biome, takes care of it itself, and then you're good to go. So that's one use case of how I use hooks. And the way that you can set it up is you can actually have Claude Code, you can prompt engineer it to set up the hook for you. It'll show you the code, give you the steps, and walk you through how to add Biome yourself if you'd like to. Let's keep on moving on here. Key bindings. We've got key bindings next in the list. Key bindings allow you to take different keys on your keyboard and attribute them to different actions within Claude Code. Maybe you're missing a tab on your keyboard and you need to have something instead of tab. So you need to switch it up because the tab button is broken or missing entirely. That would be a good use case for switching up your key bindings and getting a new keyboard. So the /vim command is a lot like the key bindings tab, except it's for Vim. So Vim has some key bindings that really speed up how you code. And I don't use them at all. But if you use Vim, you already know about this. Next, we've got theme. You can change the color of your theme. Let's just type that in. That's a nice safe one we can type in the configuration section. So we've got the theme, and you can pick dark mode, light mode, dark mode with the colorblind friendly version, and so on. So there's a couple of different ones you can set up. I bet there's probably ways to customize it too. I am currently using dark mode. And then we've got color. We took a look at color. Color allows you to change it to red, like we saw right at the beginning of the video. And then we've got status line. Now, status line I think is super cool. Status line is how I made this say this. It shows that I'm using Opus. And if I change my model to Sonnet, it'll change down here. And if I change my effort, so /command effort, medium, it'll change to medium. And then as I work, I can see in real time my session percentage, and how much time I have left to get through the tokens. Speaking of which, I have a lot of tokens to get through in the next 3 hours and 41 minutes. The way that you set this up is you type in your status line, and then you give it a command. You say, instead of uppercase models, actually, let's have a little more fun with it. Add a smiley emoji after the time. I don't know why I spelled emoji with 2 eyes. It isn't with 2 eyes, right? So you type in status line, and then you give it a command. And what we should see right here is it is going to go through and it is going to edit it. And we can see a smiley face right here. So that is a real cool way to have all the stuff that you find yourself checking about Claude Code usage and other things down in the status line. So you can also, there's a second line that you can use too. And if you don't want it, say, remove that. And as I'm doing this, you can see that my session is going up. So everything's working down in the status line. So that's probably the coolest thing in the configuration / commands that we're looking at. So next we've got /MCP. So MCPs are external tools that Claude can talk to. Like for example, if you're using Sanity and you want to push content to it, you can use Claude Code to do so. MCPs are the connector from Claude Code to external tools. So type in /MCP, you can see the ones that you've been using, and that is where that happens. Next we've got /IDE. It shows that I have cursor as an extension. Take a look at another one. Next, we've got /Chrome. This shows that I've got it installed and it's currently disabled. And we've got /install-github-app. So that's how you set up GitHub Actions. I'm certain I have that set up, and that'll show a whole bunch of GitHub stuff. And then we've got install the Slack app. I personally use remote control. I prefer that. Use it all the time. Works really well directly within the Claude app. And then we've got /plugin. So /plugin shows all of the different plugins that you can use within Claude Code. And if you're making plugins, which I intend to do, you can use a /reload plugin to reload your plugins, which helps a lot when you're developing them. So that's /reload plugins. We got down from configuration to integration. What's left over is GitHub code review and utilities and bundled skills. So we are going to go over those in the next video. I thought there might just be 2 videos. It looks like we're moving on to a third. I think keeping them shorter is better. So let's move on to another video. We'll do a third section of /commands. Thanks a lot for watching. If you've gotten this far in the video, please make sure to like and subscribe and let me know if you have any questions.